I took a Eurostar speed train all the way from London, and I was received in Paris by friend called Reverend Clement. And straight away we drove to see the Eiffel Tower, and the one of the most popular place there, and we saw some few things that of interest in the city of Paris, French. And thereafter, I worked
Yeah,
around on the street.
street market is just looking like this, and you can see how it look like. And you see, it sells things on the street and things like that. And sometimes they eat like this and like that, and people feed themselves and have a good time with themselves. Street market in Paris. Sometimes when you are in a foreign country where they don't speak English, it's difficult for you to move around, and it's difficult to talk with people. There are times I just come over and ask her simply, "Can you speak English?" She said, "No, I speak only French." And that is how it has been all this while. Now you see the loud noise going everywhere. This is how it look like. The difference here and Canada is quite different, because here is so lousy, so noisy, and people talked, shout to the boss, and talk. And I just thought I was in one of these Arab nations, but no. But I look at it, I'm not in an Arab nation. I'm in Europe. One day you will be traveling around the world, and you see the difference between different culture and different tribe. Sometimes when you see people, you just don't know what to do. You wonder how Paris look like. Yes, France is one of the European countries, and I mean, it's quite a little bit hazy and not as calm as Canada. In all, I still respect Canada. Canada is a good place, quite neater, and not as highly distorted like this, not noisy like this. Paris, it's good to be here in Europe, but then I still like Canada. That's my comparison to everything that I've seen right here in Europe.
Traveling by air is quite better when it comes to within Europe. It's cheaper. It's expensive to traveling by speed train and also by bus. See, you could see people traveling everywhere because now looking at some places in England, it's expensive. Then you look at some other places in Paris, is expensive. The speed train is way too expensive. Won't travel by speed train any longer between London and Paris. But it's a busy place. This Paris, uh, uh, Neirut, Gara, Gara de Nut. Paris is a center place where you can connect to other places. You can travel around the world. It's a nice place to travel. Look at the police and going everywhere, making sure everything is secured. Well, walking around Paris, Gara de Nut was a fun to me because I saw many of the transportation where you can be connected to different parts of the world. Holland, London, by road, by train, by speed train, and all that. And catch fun, meeting with people was a great experience while I was walking around, seeing things in French speaking country, Paris, in France.
This is Gare de Lute. This is the train station, and it's a very busy place. And you can see how it look like and everything here. This is Paris Gare de Lute. Yeah, this is a center where you can reach out to other parts of the world. You can reach to London, other part of the world, in Europe per se. And from here, we are possessing the land and we are taking over what we need to take over because the Lord is in control.
For those who like to travel and visit cities, it's fun go around to see beautiful places and structures. Now, when you see this, this is Paris and this is a city. It's one of the most busiest places. Of course, if you have not been to Paris, it's a place you would love to be and see birds and see dove. Come on, why don't you catch one and eat? Just go ahead, catch one. Of course, you can be arrested for doing that anyway in the Western world. But then here is it, moving around, playing with people, going around, nobody's harming those birds, and they are those free, owned by the government, not owned by anybody, but you can't touch them. Now, the city of Paris is one of the most ancient city that is recorded in the world. It's also a very busy place. If you've not been there, you need to make a plan to be there because Paris, especially some of those centers, are actually very busy place, and it's one of the most powerful country in the world, in the ancient world, one of the oldest country. And moving from Paris to other part of the country become easy regards to their good transportation system. And this is actually beautiful. Now, looking at Paris, and maybe you need to know something about Paris. So, is they speak French, and it has a great population of over 2 million people. And apart from that, you can also discover that there are many places of interest in Paris. It was called at the time the capital of the world at one time. Then also it was one time called as the city of the light, Paris, the city of the light. Now, looking at those descriptions, when even though it's a developed country and it's one of the most influential popular city in Europe and also wealthy per se, and all part of Europe know that Paris is one of the country that you cannot just put aside. France, they have two major airports, and I flew through one of them with Orly, and the other one um, got something like that, the second airport. And going around the city is fun. Their currency is in euro, powerful money like that. They are into finance, fashion, and all kind of things, productions, and it's at the time capital of the world, and very good city, popular city, and it's also very busy. This is the hotel I lodged when I was in Paris. It's a good place, and one of the most beautiful things is that even this hotel is close to a tree that a bridge I can see car moving through my window, flying as if they want to enter the hotel. What a wonderful structure. It's amazing to see such thing. I'm right in the hotel and I see right my window see vehicle, trucks and things passing through. Well, I enjoy my stay in Paris, but don't forget, Canada is good. And I'm checking out.